Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Where one smiling face can make a difference. Where positive messages dance past the edges of doubt. It's a ripple, it's a rhythm, it's a movement, it's a beating of drums. Oh, and you can't help but move to its music when it comes. Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Rocks can be smooth and tides can be moved by the moon. Armies disarmed and snakes simply charmed by a tune. It's a candle, it's a beacon, it's a comet, it's a consolation. Oh, so let yourself go and bask in the glow of the illumination. Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Oh, simply divine. It's a state of mind. Oh, do you want to stand in the dark, or do you want to shine? Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. It's a ripple, it's a rhythm. Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Oh, optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Bask in the glow. Optimism is contagious. It's a state of mind. Say it loud and sing it strong. Go ahead and let it shine. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Pass it on. Pick it up and pass it on. Pick it up and pass it on. Yeah. Pick it up and pass it on. 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 Pick it up and pass it on.
I love some Harold Payne. That's awesome. Optimism is contagious. You might remember we had Harold Payne as one of our guest artists with our special music just a few weeks ago. So good morning. This is Reverend Beverly Pryor, and I'm the minister of Unity of the Hill Country. And welcome to our Sunday gathering. Let's just take a moment and get centered in prayer. If you'll just close your eyes, and together let's take a deep breath in and slowly release that breath. Together we open our hearts in gratitude and appreciation for this very moment, for this present opportunity to be together online while we can't be together face to face. We're just so grateful that we can connect. And whether you're here with us in this moment on Sunday morning at 11, or if you're joining at a later time, watching a recording, together we just hold this sacred space. We know that gratitude and appreciation are some of the highest possible thoughts and attitudes. They fall right into that optimism category that Harold just sang about. And this morning we just say thank you. Thank you for this moment. And so it is. Amen. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Our opening statement that we share every week when we are able to get together is there's only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God the good, the omnipotent. And so it is. That's our first unity principle. We have a few quick announcements for you this week. Just a reminder that Tuesdays, we're still meeting with Patsy Sherman facilitating the Lost Christianities series, which is part of one of the great courses. A reminder that our recordings can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and at unityhillcountry.org. And of course, you can join us live on Facebook or via Zoom each Sunday at 11. We're really excited this week to have both a guest speaker and special music. Our special music this week is Claudia Kerrville. We've just experienced her song. There she is waving. We just had a great little rehearsal with her. I'm so excited you get to hear her and experience her this morning. And she's a riveting performer and recording artist who creates heartfelt music. In performance, she's a powerful vocalist. You'll find that out for yourself, who moves with ease through many genres of soul, posse music, jazz, and pop. And her music is best described as vibrant, as is she, transformative, and positively soulful. She's independently released 5 recordings, and you can find more of her music. We'll show you her website here in a moment. But she's also an inspirational speaker, and she offers private lessons and coaching and gives workshops and retreats. And I really wish we could join her in a workshop or retreat these days, but maybe she'll be offering something virtually. Who knows? That would be fun. It'd be a good alternative. But there's nothing like in person, but while we can't be face to face, we do the best we can. We're so happy and excited to have Claudia with us. And most of you who are members of Unity of the Hill Country or attendees, or if you've joined the Thursday Center of Calm Meditation group, you will be familiar with Norma Leonard. Or you possibly might have joined Norma last year in her multi-session study of the Bhagavad Gita. So Norma is a sought-after speaker. She speaks also at the Unitarian Universalist Church here in the Hill Country, and she's spoken with us many times, and we're excited to have her speaking this morning. She'll be giving a very thought-provoking talk. We did a little rehearsal of it earlier this week, and I know you'll be excited to hear what Norma has to say today. So we're thankful that Norma could be with us. We can just go to the next slide. So prayer is the foundation of unity. As most of you know, unity was founded on prayer. The co-founders had profound healing experiences, and they began to share what they had learned about the healing power of prayer. So you can submit your prayer request online to us at unityhillcountry.org or directly to unity.org/prayer. You can also call, and I always encourage people to call directly to Silent Unity for prayer. The hours have been limited a little bit during this time, but they're still praying 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Silent Unity at Unity Village in Missouri. Excuse me, I'm having a little allergy moment. So let's just take a moment and close our eyes. And whatever prayer you might have on your heart right now, just send it forth. We include all prayer requests, spoken or unspoken, anything coming from the heart, any desire, any want, any need. We take a breath together and we slowly release. The breath joins us mind, body, and spirit, and joins us one with another, and together the collective energy of prayer is powerful beyond measure. There's no degree of prayer, there's nothing too small or too great for that absolute good that we know in this universe as God. In this moment, we claim in the fashion and as taught by our way shower Jesus. We claim in this moment, it is done, whatever that request may be, for the highest and best for all concerned. And so it is. For the power of prayer, for the presence of this understanding, for the consciousness which unfolds in powerful transformations, we simply say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. The mission and vision statement of Unity of the Hill Country is to live consciously, celebrating the divine potential in all. It's all moments, all people, all places, all circumstances. So today we're blessed to have the daily word read by Cecile Caldwell. And Mandy, you're going to have to unmute her because for some reason my computer doesn't allow that right now.
Can y'all hear me? Hi.
Yeah, Cecile, you might need to speak up just a little.
Okay. I've got a happy to read the daily word. My name is Cecile Caldwell, and it's a real pleasure to be here with you guys. Sunday, July 19th, 2020. Togetherness. I share God's love, peace, and joy. While I treasure my times of quiet and solitude, I look forward to enjoying the company of family and members of my faith community. Whether we're working, volunteering, praying, or simply enjoying one another's company, our shared experiences allow, allow me to support people I care about and feel supported in return. I enjoy and value togetherness. And there's my allergy attack. I enjoy and value togetherness throughout every season of my human journey. During times of trial, hardship, of grief, being in the company of friends and family helps comfort me and keep me strong. Likewise, during times of celebration, being in the company of others multiplies my joy. In times of togetherness, may the love, peace, comfort, and joy of God bless us all. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. Acts 2, verse 44.
Thank you, Cecile. I appreciate you being available to read the daily word with us today. You did a beautiful job. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Love y'all.
Love you too. All right, next up, we have our music by our beautiful presenter and special music artist, Claudia Cowan.
Good morning and greetings from Richmond, Virginia. I just love the miracle of doing church in my living room and in my socks. You know, it's just awesome. I have a message for you this morning and I'll sing it for you. When I look in your eyes, I see an innocent child. I see pure possibility. Power in your very hand. The world is at your command. You are pure possibility. Do you know you are precious? Do you know you are free? Do you know you are a child of God? And that makes you royalty. Do you know your dreams could take you beyond your imagining? Unlimited and free, pure possibility. Perfect and one of a kind, it truly boggles the mind. You are pure possibility. Remain brave-hearted and true, and let the magic come through. You are pure possibility. Will you give your very best to life all your days through? And remember who you really are. If they try to label you, and know that love is closer than the breath inside of you. Unlimited and free, pure possibility. Within every soul, we are perfect and whole. There lies pure possibility. Pure possibility.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claudia. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So now we get to our special feature with Norma. We'll have some music by Karen Drucker that leads us into the meditation that Norma will guide us through. We'll have another song and then Norma will speak. So let's just begin.
I breathe am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. No need to push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know. I breathe in, I breathe in, I breathe out, I breathe out, I take in, I take in, I give out, I give out, I let love, I let go, I release, I know.
As we prepare for meditation, let us close our eyes and find a comfortable position, remembering to keep the spine straight, but not rigid. Now let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and out, establishing a comfortable rhythm. Relax and feel the tension begin to drain away as you continue to breathe in and out. There is peace in the silence, a deep and enduring peace, untroubled by events in the outer world. There is peace in the silence, peace born of the sure knowledge that God is here and all will be well. There is love in the silence, love which forgives, love which heals, love which never fails. There is light in the silence, the light of understanding, the light of faith, a beacon of hope. Let us open our minds and hearts to peace and love and light, knowing that we rest in the love and the embrace of the eternal all.
Oh, Father, oh, Father, Lord of all creation. Holy is your name, holy is your name, praise you forever. Your kingdom is at hand. Your will in every man on earth as in the highest heaven. You provide all that we need. Fill our hearts with joy and perfect peace. Lord, may we give just like you do as we receive.
Good morning. Before I begin this morning's message, I want you to know that although I've had a lifelong interest in science, I'm not a scientist. I've been called by family and friends a science nut, whatever that means. I suppose they've given me that name because I read everything I can get my hands on about the latest discoveries in science. And I'm sure there have been times when my enthusiasm for the wonders of quantum physics and quantum field theory have bored them almost to tears. My interest in science has been paired with an equal interest in religion and metaphysics, and finding a way to reconcile apparent discrepancies and disputes between the two has been the main focus of my personal studies over the years. I used to say that one day physics would catch up with metaphysics, and by golly, it has. Science has come full circle. And today, the philosophy of science is almost identical to the wisdom teaching of sages and priests who recorded those teachings more than 2,500 years ago. So this morning, I want to share with you some of the surprising discoveries which underscore and support some of the concepts which we here at Unity hold dear. We often say that we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. And we often say that we are one. Today, I hope to show that these are not just high-sounding ideals. I hope I can persuade you that these are scientific facts. Okay, here we go. In 1991, Omni magazine published a short science fiction story about an alien explorer who had just returned to his home planet after a lengthy visit to Earth. As the story begins, he's telling his commander what he learned about the people of Earth. Let's listen in as that conversation begins. They're made out of meat. Meat? There's no doubt about it. We picked several from different parts of the planet, took them aboard our recon vessels, and probed them all the way through. They're completely meat. That's impossible. What about the radio signals, the messages to the stars? They use radio waves to talk, but the signals don't come from them. The signals come from machines. Well, then who made the machines? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Meat made the machines. That's ridiculous. How can meat make a machine? You're asking me to believe in sentient meat? I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. These creatures are the only sentient race in the sector, and they're made out of meat. There is, of course, more to the story. All of it describing humankind as nothing more than meat. We can laugh at the absurdity of this story, but if we reflect for a moment on the status of scientific inquiry and science reporting back in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, then perhaps we can understand what prompted the author to write that story. We might also remember that in the 90s, the materialistic paradigm of Newtonian physics was still widely accepted by the general public. Now, scientists from the era of Newtonian physics based their research upon the observable material universe, that which could be seen, touched, and measured. The ideas of religion and metaphysics were routinely dismissed by science because they couldn't be analyzed in the lab. Even today, after almost a century of quantum mechanics and its remarkable insights into the nature of our universe, some scientists still shy away from research data which suggests a non-material origin for our universe and for life. Now, I agree that an understanding of the seemingly solid material world is important. After all, that's the world we live in. But I believe the new insights of quantum physics and quantum field theory offer a more comprehensive and meaningful understanding of life's origins and significance. Mankind has been searching for a way to explain life's origins and meanings since the beginning of recorded history. That is obvious when we look at the world's many religions, each of which has its own creation story and its own concepts of man's role in the universe. Religion has played a dominant role in society throughout history. More wars have been fought over religion than over any other issue. And of course, religion has shaped our values and influenced our behavior, both as individuals and as societies. However, there is a problem. The differences in the core beliefs of different religions sometimes cause disputes and give rise to conflict and make it hard to know what the truth really is. I have believed for many years that when religion, any religion, says one thing and science says the opposite, that one or the other is wrong, or some fact or insight is missing, which could bridge the gap between religion and science and make sense of the discrepancy. Finding a way to reconcile these differences, to make sense of the discrepancies, has become the main focus of my personal studies over the years. And over the years, I've been intrigued by the fact that the old religions, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, and in a few instances, Judaism and Christianity, have often intuited principles which science has discovered only recently. As the title of my talk this morning implies, science has come pretty much full circle and is now finding common ground with the beliefs of ancient peoples regarding the origin and nature of life. Although the wisdom of ancient civilizations does not belong to any one religion, I'll be referring most often this morning to certain Hindu scriptures because, to me, they seem to offer the clearest explanation of what the ancients believed In Hinduism, Brahman, which is their word for God, is referred to as the absolute and as the ground of being. Every belief system, and science as well, reaches a point beyond which it cannot go in its search for beginnings. In Hinduism, that point is Brahman. Brahman is the eternal all, and nothing can exist prior to or apart from Brahman. But Hinduism postulates a field arising from within Brahman, and this field is called Ishvara. Ishvara is a field of pure consciousness, which holds the potential for both conscious intent and manifestation. Ishvara is both mind force and potentially mind stuff. This consciousness becomes the mind or soul of every living creature. And every living creature exists not as a separate entity, but within and as a part of God. According to the Hindu scriptures, it is Brahma, the creative force of God, vibrating within this field of potential, which creates the substance and form of all manifest beings. This means that we and our universe exist within and as an integral part of God. Now, I'd like to point out that this doesn't conflict with the teachings of Christianity, although a lot of fundamentalist church people would probably disagree with me. There is a Bible verse, one of very few which I think should be taken absolutely literally. In Acts 17:28, it says, "In him we live and have our being. In him, not beside or behind, but in him." Now, most Christian theologians put a spin on that scripture and have it mean simply the fatherhood of God, and that we are the offspring or children of God. Let's fast forward now to our present day world and consider the changing paradigms of science. As I mentioned previously, modern science has progressively moved further and further away from Newtonian physics, whereas the Newtonian view of the world was pretty much limited to the gross material world, that which could be seen, touched, and measured. The advent of quantum mechanics in the late 1920s gave rise to a more reductionist approach. The gross elements of the observable world were divided and reduced to smaller and smaller particles in an attempt to understand the principles underlying our phenomenal world. Today, the dominant scientific paradigm states, are you ready for this? That matter as such is non-existent. And what we call matter is actually derived from non-material fields, fields which have none of the properties we normally associate with matter. To be sure, there are still scientists who are reluctant to embrace this paradigm and who continue to search for material explanations. but those scientists are steadily decreasing in number and in relevancy as more and more researchers conclude that behind all material forms, there is a non-material cause and matrix upon which the material world and its forms are built up. And a significant number of scientists now identify that field and matrix as cosmic consciousness. It sounds a little bit like Ishvara, doesn't it? Today, there is a significant amount of research. Excuse me a minute, I've lost my place here. There is a considerable amount of research into the nature of consciousness itself. Whereas we have long believed consciousness is a byproduct of the brain, modern researchers such as Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose are now suggesting that consciousness is a universal field, and the relationship of the brain to consciousness is not unlike the relationship of a computer to the internet. Also gaining traction in the scientific community is the idea that the physical brain, like every other material entity, may be assembled upon a non-material matrix. So if you are among those who consider such things as chakras and subtle bodies a little woo-woo, maybe it's time to take a step back and take another look at those concepts against the backdrop of modern physics. I'm sure the idea that we, along with our universe, are manifestations of a universal mind, which is primal and which gives rise to all form and function, can be hard to grasp. But I'm also aware that there is not time this morning to explore the pros and cons of the various theories and hypotheses. So instead, I would like to simply read a few quotes by well-known and well-respected scientists. First, a quote by Max Planck. He said, "As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you, as a result of my research about atoms, this much: there is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of an atom to vibration and holds that most minute solar system together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind," unquote. And here is another quote by Max Planck. "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as a derivative of consciousness. We cannot get behind consciousness. Everything we talk about, everything we regard as existing, postulates consciousness," unquote. Next is a quote by Werner Heisenberg. "The same organizing forces that have shaped nature in all her forms are also responsible for the structure of our minds." David Bohm said, "Space is not empty, it is full, a plenum as opposed to a vacuum, and it is the ground for the existence of everything, including ourselves. The universe is not separate from this cosmic sea of energy. Erwin Laszlo, a renowned physicist and systems analyst who has twice been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize and who has written several books about consciousness as the unified field, said, "The most fundamental element of reality is the quantum vacuum, the energy and information-filled plenum, which underlies, generates, and interacts with our universe and with whatever universes may exist in the metaverse." Laszlo also said, "Underlying the diversified and localized gross layers of ordinary consciousness, there is a unified, non-localized, and subtle layer, which is pure consciousness." Again, sounds a bit like a Ishvara. And finally, a quote by Dr. David Tong, a physics professor at Cambridge University. "There exists, spread thinly throughout space, something called an electron field. Ripples in the electron field get tied up in the bundle of energy by quantum mechanics. And this bundle of energy is what we call an electron. Similarly, there is a quark field, a gluon field, and a Higgs boson field. Every particle in your body, indeed every particle in the universe, is a tiny ripple of the underlying field, molded into a particle by the machinery of quantum mechanics." Now, I'd like to summarize the ideas I've tried to present this morning. I've referred primarily to certain scriptures of Hinduism to elucidate the concepts of Brahman or God as the absolute, that beyond which nothing exists, and Brahman as the ground of being, from which all manifest life comes into being. I've tried to show that although modern science has taken a very different approach to understanding the universe, it has come pretty much full circle and has arrived at the same basic understanding that scientists had, or rather that ancients had more than 2,500 years ago. The two schools of thought use different forms of expression. Ancient wisdom and modern quantum field theory are finding common ground, and both postulate an infinite and eternal field of consciousness, which has given rise to and sustains all manifest being. I doubt that God much cares by what name we call him, as long as we call. Prayer and meditation are the best ways we can communicate with God and open ourselves to the understanding that we are one with God. Now, I don't think it matters whether we call this field we've been discussing Brahman, God, or the unified field. What is important, if I may quote from a poem I wrote, is the realization that reality is not what we see, but what underlies it and allows it to be. Because each of us is part of this unified field of being, everything we think, say, and do becomes part of the fabric of life. It's often said that we create our world. and in the sense that what we say and do has an impact upon our environment and upon our fellow human beings, we do indeed create or at least modify the circumstances of our immediate environment. But we can't alter the basic nature of our universe. It seems to me that a false sense of separateness may well be responsible for the troubled state of our nation and our world. Driven by personal ambition and ego, we lash out at each other. We engage in hateful, hurtful conduct towards each other, with the inevitable result being division and confrontation. Rachel Carson, the author of the well-known book Silent Spring, once said, the more clearly we can focus our attention on the wonders of the universe about us, the less taste we will have for destruction. I think that can also be applied in the realm of personal relationships. Perhaps the more clearly we focus upon our oneness, the less taste we will have for meanness. One final thought. In this time of practicing social distancing, it's important to remember that the distance between loving hearts is not measured in miles. And the space between us is not what separates us. Properly understood, it's what connects us. Within the totality of God, we are indeed connected. Truly, we are one. Namaste, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Norma. That was wonderful. And now we will finish up our service with another amazing song by Claudia Carawan. And thank you.
Thank you, Norma, for that beautiful message. This is a song I wrote almost as a prayer that I could sing to myself. I put all the attributes and characteristics that I wanted to see demonstrated in my life in this song, and I sing it regularly, and it serves as my personal manifesto. I hope it touches you. It's called Fearless.
I was born to live life fully, to let go of regret, to walk the highway of life without a safety net, to follow something even bigger than my pride, to show up with courage even when I'm trembling inside. And I will not worry about what others think of me. And I will not be shackled by the chains of conformity. I'll break the mold set in the past, keep pushing till I'm free at last. I follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. You can call me fearless. I am fearless. I follow the road to adventure everywhere. I let the top down and let the wind take a look my hair. Hitch my dreams onto the brightest star. on the trapeze of life, I throw my heart right over the bar. And on the other side of feeling like euphoria, and a greater understanding of who you really are. I break the mold that in the past, keep pushing till I'm free at last. I follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. You can call me fearless. I am fearless. Fearless. I push outside the comfort zone, remembering I'm not alone. I follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. You can call me fearless. I am fearless. Affirm that with me. Say, I am fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
This-
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're so glad you were with us. That was really great. I love the energy. And I love Norma's talk because bringing scientific support to the spiritual beliefs we've all held for so long, we all hold so dearly, just confirms what we all know is true. It's the consciousness from which we live that makes the difference in our world. So that goes into our attitudes about giving as well. And it's always the consciousness from which you give that extends the power of the resources that you share. So we just want to thank you for all you've been giving online and mailing in and dropping off by the building. And your support is so important. We're still paying the bills, keeping the lights on, watering the grass, all those important things. And we appreciate your support. We're holding the fort down until we can actually get back together face to face. But let's affirm our giving through our offertory prayer. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies everything I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. We send it forth with our blessings and our love. And we'll close out with our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So we'll see you next week, and be sure to invite your friends and family to join us. And let's just take a moment now and greet one another. We'll go to gallery view so we can see all of one another. And we'll unmute everyone. Mandy, we might both be trying to unmute. You better do it because I'm not sure that my computer is unmuting. Hello, everyone. Hi, Danny. Hi, Hetty.
Hello.
Here's Mark and Gayleen. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Hey, Mark, Gayleen.
Off camera.
Good, Kathy.
Hi, Sue.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Norma. Norma, bring Mac into view. Can he come up and join us?
Does Mac, do you want to come up here?
Mac, you want to come up?
Say hello to everybody.
It's great to see all of you.
Well, Norma,
Thank you
that
for
was
your
such
talk,
a great.
Norma. I'm sorry, go ahead, Sue.
I was just going to compliment her on that wonderful talk. It really was great. Thank you, Norma.
Thank you.
There's Mac.
Mac?
Punk her down.
Isn't that cool?
All right. Well, it's nice to see everybody's faces. We were just talking at the board meeting about maybe planning a get-together on Zoom where all we do is just chat with one another.
Huh?
No presentation required. Maybe we'll have it a potluck and everybody get a lunch and eat your own separately. Just chat online. Thank you, Norma. That was amazing. Claudia had to drop off. She couldn't stay for the greeting because she had a test she needed to take online. So,
Well, thank you. It's one of my favorite topics, as you know, and I enjoyed doing it.
it
Love
was
y'all.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Bless everybody.
Yes.
Thanks. Namaste. I love you. Mandy, we can end now.